Hello, everybody. Margot Levette here. Her business, her voice, her conversation. This week, it's you and me together. And, I've been doing this for a while. And this thing of reinventing yourself, moving from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur's mindset, there are so many layers until it's almost scary. But recently something happened to me and I want to not get on a soapbox about it. I just want people to know it's happened to other entrepreneurs, it's happened to me, and there are ways to deal with doing the work and not getting paid. I didn't know that there is a freelance isn't free law that protects freelancers in New York City. It was enacted May 15th, 2017. I didn't realize that. But I try to keep up with Freelancers Union just to know what's going on, and there's so many benefits and, so on and so forth. It's just good reading. But recently, not too long ago, a couple months ago, I ran into this doing some work and not getting paid for it. And I have to be very transparent about this. It's not because they stole from me. I had my gut told me, nope, don't do this. A close acquaintance told me, something ain't right. No, don't do this. You're taking a big chance. I overrode. Yep, I said it. I overrode. I bowed down to the sale. Gosh, I bowed down for what I thought was the sale. And let me tell you why. We oftentimes get on these schedules. We oftentimes have an agenda that we want to meet come hell or high water. And that's how I was. That's where I was. So I made the big mistake of going against my gut. And my goodness, the consultation that someone gave me. Looking back, I'm thinking, what were you thinking, Margot? So, long story short, a lesson learned. Yeah, I took a big financial loss. I took a financial loss. I really did. But what I come away with is an understanding of how resilient I am and how I am, who I am. Who I am a podcasting professional who graduates podcasters. I am a podcaster who has a track record, and I am resilient. And when a person doesn't want to pay you, when they disrespect you and don't want to pay you for what you do, for the work that you put in, it's not personal. Don't take it personal. That's what I came away with. Because I tend to hold this craft very personal. I really, really do. I give so much to the 7-week course, the blueprint for building your podcast. I look at the results and how people have graduated and they've gone on to attach their podcast to their business. They've grown webinars and summits off of building their podcast. And it's verification that this thing works. And yeah, I felt disrespected and I took it to heart until I thought, you got to be resilient. You have to be resilient and move past this. And entrepreneur Stephen Jackson says, you have to go for the profitable customer. I just wasn't fishing in the right pond. Bottom line, this is my chance to take ownership. Not exonerating anybody, but I take ownership. So from now on, be anxious for nothing is my scripture. I don't have to bow down for the sale. I don't have to have that class go on a particular schedule. And the profitable customer is one who's going to pay me my fair price. I'm worth it. The resilient me understands that I'm always investing in myself so I can give and pour out. That when someone hires me to do this work, this teaching how to build a podcast, I'm able to give and give even more. That's why on my podcast, I'm taking this subject on, which makes people nervous and uncomfortable, but it's a reality. And it's not something that I've taught in the course before, but I think that it's going to be added to the syllabus because I don't want a person to run into this situation and be so devastated and they're taking it to heart, they're taking it personal, that they sit on the side of the road and they let the non-paying client talk them out of their next. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. It's common. It's a shame to say it's common. It's a reality that is when you say that you are an entrepreneur. That's what I'm told. But I'm smarter. I'm wiser. And this has been a learning experience for me. So that's why I am taking the time to impart this information to you. I will never, ever, ever, never give out the names of the people involved. Never, ever. But I will forever share this story because it changed me, it molded me, and like I say, I'm a whole lot wiser. So, what is the solution? I want you to take away, go for the profitable customer. Do not bow down for the sale. I don't care if it's coming from your mama. Seriously, family, friends, don't do it. Do not do it. Because whatever you're doing, consulting, podcasting, teaching, whatever you're doing, it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. And I'm learning. You separate those feelings, you separate those relationships. The low-hanging fruit is not always the best fruit for you. Reach up. Go for the profitable customer. It may take you a little bit longer, but therein lies your niche. Therein lies your fruit. Therein lies your customer. So, just want to impart that information to you. I have created Podcast Posse. Let me tell you something about that. Out of the academy, I did some market research and found that quite a few podcasters have questions about repurposing their podcasts. Some have gone in and out of PodFave. There's that need for accountability so that you can keep podcasting or know how to pivot so that it's manageable according to the new state that you are in at that present time. And then I found that some are just way too busy, as most of us are, to stay abreast of the information that's going on, what's going on in the podcast world. So I put together Podcast Posse, which is a weekly video newsletter, which is going to give you information concerning what's going on in the podcast industry in bite-sized bits, okay? 3 or 4 pieces of information, what's going on, bite-sized bits on the video, and then if you want access to the longer readout or the source itself, then in the resource center, there will be a link so that you can dive in and you can really get a better understanding. Also, in that newsletter, there will be a section where we hold each other accountable. If that's what you say that you need from the posse, then there is a place where you can be held accountable. We'll call ourselves the accountability partners or whatever, which is an overused term, but I factored that into Podcast Posse. Also, there's a section where each week you are going to get a health tip, be it mental health, be it professional health, be it your physical health. I'm leaning on those those resources, those folks who have been on my podcast, and I'm giving you those tips and giving you that insight. Because if we are not operating at our optimum best mentally, physically, and professionally, then we can't really give out the way we want to. All right. Or we don't even know who to contact so that we can be at our best. So, those are the components of the weekly newsletter. Another part of Podcast Posse is, besides the newsletter, is I know that people get stuck. So I'm offering up my coaching services to you so that you don't have to stay stuck. We can take a deep dive look at what's going on and get you going again. All right. Another part of Podcast Posse is the peer-to-peer monthly meet up. I don't care if there's just one person and myself. We're going to get together, celebrate wins, share how-to information. We are going to share podcast opportunities, all kinds of things. That's not going to be a place where we deep dive and investigate what's going on with your podcast and with your podcast, but we will celebrate, as I said, and we will learn from each other and we will grow from each other because of opportunities and information that is imparted right there. That's Podcast Posse. It came out of starting the academy and understanding that so many people started a podcast and now they're no longer podcasting. Let's turn that around. These are things that we can do together. All right. So that's it for this week. Podcast Posse is subscription based. Go to podcastacademyonline.com and it's up under membership. podcastacademyonline.com. It's under membership. 3 different ways to I can't even talk. 3 different ways to subscribe to the Posse. You're going to ride with us? I hope so. So that's it this week. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Her business, her voice, her conversation. Bye-bye. I want to thank you so much for joining me here. Her business, her voice, her conversation. I hope that you got the value and the insight that you come to look forward to getting from each and every one of these episodes. I sure appreciate you. Now, will you do me a favor? Go over to YouTube, help me build that channel out. All you have to do is go over, put my name in, Margot Levette. My picture is going to come up. Click on that. It's going to lead you inside the portal where you are able to click on subscribe. And while you're there, hit that little bell also, because it's going to let you know when new episodes are out. I'll be back next week. Another episode right here. Her business, her voice, her conversation. Bye-bye now.